Guess what?
Hello, welcome to Target Lock TV. This is Simon, and with me today I have a very special guest, Mr. Max Brooke. Welcome.
Hello, thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be here.
We are very exciting to have you here as well. And not only we have Max Brooke with us today, we have Julian Hood on the one side, and we have Phil Pond on the other side. So this is a UK versus UK matchup in the top six, on the top table in the sixth round. Sorry, I am getting more and more tired for every minute.
That's understandable. I've been there, though I've never commentated more than. Actually, I've never really done any commentating before, so I hope everyone will forgive me for my inevitable stumbles.
Don't worry about that. Let's have a look. So, Max, let's have a look at these lists. Would you like to read out? Shall we start with Julian's list first?
Sure. Let's see, so... Sorry, is Julian our Imperial player or our... I'm still figuring out TTS. Oh, I see. Okay, there we got names there. Cool. So Julian is Whiskey Mancer?
Yes, that's true.
All right, cool. So then it is a pretty simple list to read out. We've got 4 times Saber Squadron Ace with Predator, and good old Major Vermeil with Ion Limiter Override, which is a very near and dear card to my heart, so I'm excited to see it.
Excellent. See, and we have on the other side of the pond, we have Phillip Pond, and he's bringing 2 fire sprays, and they are packed with upgrades.
Yeah, we've really got minimalism versus maximalism here.
Yeah, and he has brought Jango Fett with Snapshot, Count Dooku, Thermal Detonators, Force Transponder Codes, and he's got Sam Weasel as well with Snapshot, Thermal Detonators, and Hull Upgrade. So, Thermal Detonators is... well, it's more or less the only bomb that we see nowadays, in this meta at least.
Yeah, well, it's got that nice, multiple drop aspect to it, which gives it good coverage.
Mm-hmm.
And it's flexible. You can drop 1 or 2, so you can play with your sort of... it makes it unpredictable, and unpredictability always kind of comes at a premium. The weakness of bombs is that they are traditionally quite predictable.
Yeah.
So Thermal Detonators negates quite a bit of that. Yeah. This is an interesting start to this game too. Mm-hmm. We've got a bit of a circle going on.
Yeah, this is a quite aggressive opening from Phil. He's seeking out
Phil
the
wants
swarm.
This. Well, I can see that. I think in some ways Phil has Phil may not have a numerical advantage on a head-on collision, but Phil does have a lower threshold of execution on a joust, with just 2 ships to manage.
Yeah.
So it's a potentially risky choice, but it could work out quite well.
This was a really close move to that asteroid.
Yeah, look at that rocket surgery there. That's where I'd hit the asteroid.
Yeah. See, and Julian's interceptors are Initiative 4, which is considered almost like aces in the hyperspace meta. But he's outnumbered here by Phil's Initiative 5 and 6.
I wonder if we're going to see the TIE Reaper, not right this second, obviously, but I wonder if we're going to see the TIE Reaper actually get to use its jam action in this game, because with the likelihood of a reinforce going off somewhere, jam could actually really pull its weight.
Yeah. So this is Django attacking, spending his target lock for 1 hit. Roll the dice in the box, yeah. Dice should be re-rolled. Oh, there. So this is Sam's shot, and spending that focus for 3 hits.
So in terms of what you've seen today, are these lists fairly typical, or do you think that are these outliers in some way?
We have seen a few lists with interceptors and Vermeil, to be honest. We have also seen, not that much on the stream, but we have seen the Tight Advanced V1s swarms with proton rockets and the Foresight.
Oh, interesting.
Not together, but
yes, that makes sense.
So let's see. Django is taking a shot here. That's hit crit from purple. He spends the force for Dooku. And playing really fast now. Let's see, Django took 1 damage there. It is another 3 dice attack incoming, 3 hits, or 2 hits, 1 crit. And Django is taking 2 of them. Still got 1 shield. But Django is hurting.
Well, he flew right into the Predator reroll zone.
Yeah. So this shot is evaded. 3 hits. It's evaded by 2 evades. And now we got Vermeil. 2 hits. And Django is taking his first damage card. Sam is revealing her card. Spends 2 charges for a bonus attack on Vermeil. And she's got a focus, so that's 3 hits incoming. And Vermeil takes them all.
Wow.
This is a very fast pace.
Well, sometimes X-Wing is like that.
Yeah. Let's see, Enigma Wargaming is asking how many Imperialists there are. I'll be with you in a second. There are 22 Galactic Empire lists out of 87, I think, that started.
That sounds about right. That's pretty standard numbers for Empire in an event.
Yeah.
A lot of die-hard Imperial players out there.
Yeah, we had only 5 of Rebel lists today. And let's see, Galactic Republic, 8 lists. But I think they actually done quite well for being that few.
That's interesting. Bit of a reversal of what we've been seeing, at least on the sort of macro scale prior, where Republic tended to show up in big numbers, but not necessarily do all that well.
Yeah. It is now with the latest editions of ships. Oh, no, sorry, I was thinking about separatists. But yeah, Galactic Republic. I when they were released, they were announced, I decided not to buy into the 2 new fractions. But since I've been playing online, I sort of been, trying them out a little bit. And they are really fun to fly, those Jedis, actually.
Good. I'm glad you enjoy them. They were a very interesting consideration for second edition. We knew we wanted the Force to be a bigger part of the game. If we were going to add, factions that were had so many Force users in them, so I'm glad that worked.
Yeah. It's going to be an expensive dabble with.
Yeah, I didn't know if it was gauche to ask if your free sample online had convinced you wanted to buy in when the pandemic finally ends.
Yeah, you know what? I probably will, actually. I'm not really a completionist, but I mean,
that's healthy.
The thing about X-Wing ships is that they are just so good looking, and you can keep them on a shelf even if you're not playing with them.
Oh yeah, I mean that's one of X-Wing's biggest advantages as a miniatures game is, when I played a lot of Warhammer 40k back in college. I still play Warhammer 40k, and I really like the hobby stuff, but a lot of my friends back in college, they had no interest in doing the hobby stuff, so I just had to build and paint armies for them back then. And with X-Wing, those people can all get into it immediately and just pick up a couple ships, put them on the table, play.
Yeah, X-Wing was my first, or is my first miniatures game, and it was a big make or break is the painting thingy.
Definitely.
Before I started getting into X-Wing, I bought that Zombicide game, and I started painting all the zombies, but I got through about half of it, and it's and then I just realized I'm never gonna have time to do all of it. So unfortunately,
yeah. I've definitely found in the last 5 to 10 years, I've finished a couple armies, but I've found myself tending more towards skirmish style games with 8 to 10 figures to paint. That's totally viable, but painting. Back in 2012, I painted a Warhammer Fantasy army, and I never want to paint another tiny skeleton again. Although they are bringing Warhammer Fantasy back, so maybe, who knows? Maybe I'll crack and add some more skeletons to my army when they do.
Let's see. I actually, we got a question in the chat here.
Yeah.
Funbook is Rebels. Wait, see. X8 from Discord is asking, what is the faction identity for Republic?
What is the faction identity for Republic? That's a really good question. So the Republic faction identity is really focused around so it's sort of a split faction in some ways. And a couple of factions have features like this, but Republic in particular is about the sort of, on the one hand, you have the elite Jedi pilots, and their faction identity is around this, sort of high-cost, high-performance ships. And then on the other hand, you have the clone pilots who are, their faction identity is very much about this reliable, dedicated soldiers who are, unfortunately, unknowingly to them, being sent to die for a pointless cause. And so that's the faction identity, and the themes we really wanted to press are sort of around that. You have these Jedi who are kind of these leader characters to these clones, and the clones are very much sort of typified by they're good team players. They make personal sacrifices, and of course, again, the tragedy of the Clone Wars is that like the clones are being, you know, sent to die so that somebody can take control of the Republic. So that's sort of where the faction identity comes out. That you have these very elite leaders, these very like, you know, solid soldiers under their command, and then, you know, they like play together in various ways. So like, you know, it was really gratifying when people, you know, quickly gravitated to like, oh, a couple Jedi and some V19s or something like that as like a list, or like a couple Jedi and Arc 170s. You know, we wanted people to sort of mix and match these elite nimble pilots and these, you know, like sort of like solid clone pilots who tend to be lower initiative, but like have very like good support abilities, or just like reliable numbers.
Yeah, let's see. The players are playing really fast here, so we got.
Yeah, let's get back to the game.
Julian is building up a wall of interceptors, and let's see. Django bumped one of them, so here's the first shot from Django into the yellow interceptor. He will leave that at 1 crit.
Django may not live to regret missing out on his reinforce this turn.
Yeah. So the second shot is from Sam into Vermeil. Hit crit. Sam has got a focus. And
dodging that Vermeil bump was either very well guessed or very lucky.
So let's see. Vermeil is taking 2, 3, and he's gone. PS killed, or I killed. Let's see. This is Purple Saber Squadron shooting into Sam. Oh. See, it's a Predator reroll and spends focus for 3 hits and 1 crit. And Julian, Phil calls Dooku. And takes 2 shields. Or 3 shields. And gets a target lock, is it? So now we have yellow interceptor into Django. To reroll with Predator and spends that focus for 4 hits.
Oof.
And yeah, Django is taking 3 and is down to 2 hull. This might be a quick game.
Is it, I was to say, I guess, what time is it? Is it late? Is it dinner time? Is everybody trying to get out of here to get some food?
Let's see, it is 6:10 in the afternoon in Sweden. So this is 4 hits.
Wow.
And that's it for Django. Django is gone. It is 5:10 in the UK, where both Julian and Phil is.
Well, that could be close to dinner time. This game is a great example, by the way, of how good bullseye abilities are against medium ships.
Yes.
Compared with small. That's a really interesting, like, you know, jump up in quality there, and of course, then you get that same jump against large ships.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we had a really interesting game on, I think 2 games ago, where we had the triple fire sprays, bounty hunters, versus 5 inquisitors with foresight. And
oh yeah,
in the beginning, I had my bets on the Inquisitors, but Johan, who was playing the Bounty Hunters, just brilliantly played them. So and won by a big margin.
and managed to avoid getting ripped up by Foresight.
Yeah.
That's some good flying. Yeah, it's not easy to dodge bullseye arcs with a medium base.
No, I can definitely recommend going back and look at that game because that might have been. It might have been something we haven't seen before.
Interesting. I'll have to give that a watch. Well, these interceptors, that was an excellent play, but these interceptors are now in kind of a rough organization because, of course, stern chasing a fire spray is no fun. But, coming in on the side is going to be tricky here, I think.
Yeah. At this position, Sam will take 2 shots. One moderate range 1, but he'll shoot first, so maybe he can pull that token from Purple Saber Squadron.
Yeah.
Wow, that's 4 hits.
I think he's going to pull that token, or he's going to pull that ship.
Yeah. He's going to pull that ship.
Oof. Man, those are like my green dice. Yeah, that's the trouble with fire sprays. They as we saw in episode 2, stern chasing a fire spray can be a very painful experience.
Indeed, and we only been playing for about 20 minutes.
Oh, we're gonna make up that time then.
Yep. So let's see. That's 3 eyeballs, and without a focus token, that is put in the garbage. So what factions do you prefer when you play? Or do you just play for work?
Well, I mean, I guess I don't anymore. But yeah, in terms of my factions, the big ones I tend to go with are. I really just like playing Rebels. I love putting X-Wings on the table, opening and closing the S-foils. That was the thing I spent all of First Edition wanting to do, and I'm glad we're able to add that. I also really enjoy Separatists. I'm not good with them at all. But I very much enjoy Vulture Swarms and like mixed swarms. I really like putting a couple HMPs on the table with some Vultures for backup, because then you just have this nice like set of bad choices for your opponent, where they either go for the HMPs, which are a little heavier, or they go for the Vultures, which are picking up blocks to help the HMPs, but then they're killing a Vulture droid, so you can do some fun stuff with that. I like Republic lists quite a bit too, actually. I'm not very good with Jedi Ace type lists, but a couple Arc 170s with like a support Delta 7, even sometimes with no config, like Plo Koon or one of the supportier ones can be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've played all factions a lot, so it's hard for me to pick an obvious favorite. There's a lot to choose from. I like a lot of the like iconic bounty hunter team up lists too. Those are always fun. Put Boba and Bosk and some others down.
Yeah, let's see. We have a thermal detonator drop from Sam.
Yep.
And
as you predicted before the stream, those thermal detonators are coming out to play.
Yeah. Let's see. Julian is effectively closing off the options here for Sam to move in any direction.
Yeah,
This is very...
The sharks are circling.
Yeah, this is very well played. So...
And that was really nice positioning too there, to have 3 of them set up such that it was almost certainly gonna bump, you know, one but give the others a shot. If I had been doing that, it would have been a bump on one, and I would have missed the shot with at least one of the others, because some of those angles are quite close, especially on yellow.
Yes. So there's a strain there on the green. And we have a range 1 from Sam. Oh, that's who needs mods? That's 3 hits and 1 evade. So he takes 2. Still on 1 hull, so he gets to shoot.
Yep. The dice from Zam have just been hot this game.
Yeah. He needs it. So this... Two focuses and 1 hit. That's turned into 3 hits, and Sam is taking 1 shield and 1 damage. Revealing Sam card, spending tokens, and shooting from the rear.
Yeah, Zam really can be a buzzsaw with that ability, especially against multiple light targets.
Oh yeah, that's another 3 hits in the back. So Julian needs 3 evades to survive. And he gets 2 and 1 focus result, and the yellow one is gone. This is, you know, Sam's got 6 hull left.
This game is close.
The Interceptors also got 6 hull in total. Let's see, the last shot here from green could be defining. The reroll into 2 hits and 1 focus. That's 3 hits. Sam takes 2. No, I think there was a bump on the die. Mikael, could you contact the players?
It's really interesting because this game has been so ruthless, but remained very close throughout. You know, a lot of times with games where people go for the throat like this, one person blows out or the other, you know, sort of like gets, you know, somebody gets tabled, but this has been just back and forth piece trading.
Sorry, Simon, you were saying, was there a bump on the...
Yeah, I think there was a bump to die. I think there was... I'm not sure.
If you read the chat,
read the chat,
yeah.
I didn't see the chat. Let's see.
I should be okay.
Yeah, should be okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about that.
It's 1 eye and then re-roll. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
No problem.
Go. Yeah, we got 45 minutes left on the clock, and there's a lot of points taken here. Julian is in the lead with 148 points, and Phil's got 126 points. Let's see if I got a shout out to Max. can you also say a massive thank you to Max for the work he's put into this wonderful game from Enigma Wargaming?
Oh, that's very nice. Thank you. It was my pleasure. I always enjoyed working on this game and getting to interact with folks. I'm looking forward to getting to, go to conventions again and see people face to face someday.
Yeah. I have John Ulrup's question here. Is X-Wing fundamentally very difficult to balance to allow both 2 and 8 ships lists to work? It's almost like 2 different games.
That is very astute. Yeah, that's one of the biggest challenges of X-Wing balance for sure. I mean, it would be a lot easier to balance X-Wing if it had a traditional miniatures game force org chart. On the other hand, I think one of the things about the fiction is that we do see all these different, mixed squadrons at various points. We see, one versus many battles. So to better reflect Star Wars, it kind of had to have that freedom. But I can tell you there certainly is a reason that Legion has a Force Org chart, and a big part of that reason is it is both justifiable within the fiction and also a good idea for that game, and, it can make a lot of sense for many games.
Yeah. So let's see, we had 2 bomb drops, thermal detonators, and...
Mm-hmm.
See what Sam is... Probably considering his action, I think. Yeah, that's a focus. Oh, that clips both on red. So the first one is in the clear. Oh yeah, dice in the dice box. True. The first one is a hit now. So now we have 4 hits from Sam. Hot dice into green. Oh. Sure what they're doing, but it is 4 hits.
Ouch.
No. Okay. So he spends the target lock and the focus for 4 hits. It is hard to keep track of the dice when they're playing so fast. Oh.
Ouch.
So that's gone, and now, the tables turn quickly.
Yeah. This has been quite a nail biter.
Yeah, Phil is in the lead.
Wow, I can't see this game going to time.
No. That's another thing I've been talking about today. Do you think hyperspace is more deadlier than extended? Because
frequently, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it depends on it. There could theoretically be a hyperspace that was, more was slower than extended, but generally, yeah, because you just don't have as many survival tools, and that's often by design. We want to keep the game from getting bogged down, and hyperspace is meant to be, both approachable to new players and, fun for competitive players. And a lot of folks in both of those categories don't want the game to drag on. They want a game that gets done in a reasonable amount of time. There's also just, when you have fewer options, you can't stack as many strong synergies.
That is true.
And while we certainly, compared to first edition, we certainly got rid of a lot of the strongest synergies defensively. You can't do nearly as much with the sort of old school auto thrusters token stack, but there's still plenty of defensive synergies you can build up and extended, and generally we try to make those not all available. We also don't make all the offensive synergies available in hyperspace. But the upshot is that offense dice are a little bit favored by default. So
let's see here. Sam just took 2 damages through the gas cloud, and he is still alive on 1 hull.
Wow.
Versus 2 hull on that Saber Squadron. This is a nail biter.
Yeah. There's not been a boring turn in this game.
No. Not even the first.
No, I mean, that opening was so interesting, and so go for the throat by Phillip. So what's the most exciting list you've seen today? What's the list you've seen that you were just most thrilled to have at the event?
Well, to be honest, I think that Johan's list that we had on the stream earlier with the triple fire sprays was really fresh breeze. I didn't think that it would perform that well, to be honest. But Johan is a great player, and he just played that list to its fullest extent.
Well, and I'm guessing that you're a good player. I know you to be a good player. If you thought that list might not be that strong, a lot of other people probably thought the same thing, and that can be a real advantage if you're playing for the top. Having a list that other people underestimate or don't quite fully understand the capacities of, I wouldn't have known that he was going to get the most out of that either, and that can be a big edge.
Yeah. So we just saw the Julian evade that 3 dice attack with 3 hits.
It's actually really interesting. Games before the internet moved much more slowly in terms of their meta progression.
Yeah.
And now if somebody really cracks the code on something, it's very rare that there's a list that only a single player can really play effectively for a long time, because the information gets propagated so quickly. But you do see it occasionally. Back in first edition, we had a couple core and horn players who were really above the, above the level that most people were getting. Most of the sort of people who were in the middle of the pack were getting out of that character in particular. And I think some of that was sheer determination to make core and horn good.
Yeah. Let's see, we have a question from X-Wing 2nd Edition Discord. Will you be joining the community in either the Discords, Facebook groups, or any other social media? We would love to have you around and get your input on the game related and other topics.
Yeah, feel free to send me a link to any Discords. That one included. I've joined a couple of Facebook communities. I have, a limited number of hours in the day, and I can't always promise I'll respond to any given ping, but, I don't mind being pinged on Discord. I just will ignore it if I'm busy, so...
So this is a shot from Sam, 4 dice attack. I guess that's 1 hit. He will not spend that...
Alright.
Focus.
Green's paid off.
See if the game ends here.
Yeah, an obstructed shot on a fire spray isn't necessarily... I mean, it's range 1, and it's got the bullseye, but... I think? Yeah, it does, right? Yeah, totally.
Yeah, this is looking hard. So...
I think that's it.
Yeah. Congratulations, Julian Hood, going 6-0 in the Swiss today. Very well played by Phillip Pond. An amazing game to watch. We have, let's see. Just gonna scroll through and see if we have any more questions that we could. There's a lot of love for you in the chat. Love reading your blog, and there is a link in the show notes to the stream that takes you to Max's blog. Go check it out. Let's see if there's anything else. No. We got 34 minutes left on the round. We've definitely taken back some of the time that we lost today. Tomorrow, the stream of the top 16 will start at noon Central European time. That's UTS +1. And I will be posting a link to that stream later on tonight. But if you like to keep updated, you should subscribe to my channel, and you will get a notice in the email when the stream is live. So let's see. I think we're actually gonna wrap up a little bit early to get sorted. So I would like to thank the players. I would like to thank Max, and you will be joining me tomorrow as well.
Indeed. Bright and early for me, probably after a long day for you, right?
Yeah, tomorrow is only 4 games, so I will try to get some good rest tonight and be fresh and ready in the morning. Anyway, thank you all players watching, and we will be shutting down the stream for tonight. Thank you.